Elton John is a music icon whose career spans over 5 decades. He's won numerous awards, made huge contributions to charity, and had his share of personal struggles. Let's take a closer look at the life and career of this impressive musician. Elton John, the music superstar known to the world, was actually born Reginald Kenneth Dwight. He taught himself piano, learned The Skater's Waltz by age 3, and earned a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music at 11. He dropped out at 17 to pursue music full-time. John's love for pop music comes from his mother, Sheila, whom he remained close to even after his parents' divorce. Despite a falling out, the two repaired their relationship before her death at age 92 in 2017. John's father, Stanley, did not support his musical dreams. In the 1960s British blues revival, John formed the band Bluesology. Later, they became Long John Baldry's backing band with new instrumentalists. Keyboardist Reginald Dwight went solo and became Elton John, borrowing interesting names from band members. He chose the middle name Hercules, inspired by a horse on a British sitcom. In 1967, Elton John answered a record company's ad for musicians. The exec gave him a pile of poems, saying they were from someone who couldn't write music. It was Bernie Taupin. They started working together and never looked back. They never work in the same room, and John has written music for Taupin's lyrics in just 15 minutes. They were inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1992. In 1969, John released his first album, Empty Sky, and his self-titled effort in 1970 earned him his first hit with Your Song. He then released 4 albums between October 1970 and November 1971, including Madman Across the Water, and created his famous hit, Tiny Dancer. The Guardian ranked it as his best song ever. Elton John is known for his collaborations with musicians of all styles. In 1972, he played piano for T.Rex singer Mark Bolan's hit, Children of the Revolution, and with Ringo Starr on drums. Other famous collaborations include Don't Go Breaking My Heart with Kiki Dee, Through the Storm with Aretha Franklin, and I Don't Feel Like Dancin' with Scissor Sisters. In 1993, he released his 25th studio album Duets, featuring artists like K.D. Lang, Leonard Cohen, and Bonnie Raitt. Elton John, known for his musical talent and flamboyant stage presence, became a fashion icon with his flashy outfits designed by personal costumer Annie Reevey. He used fashion to entertain and make people look at him while he played the piano for hours. Elton John, known for his music, is also a sports fanatic. He founded Rocket Sports Management and the Elton John Sports Fund to support emerging sports stars and British athletes in over 50 sports. He once wore a sequined LA Dodgers uniform designed by Bob Mackie during a 1975 Dodger Stadium concert. Elton John and Bernie Taupin's 1973 documentary, Goodbye Norma Jean and Other Things, shows footage from the production of John's album, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, including recording sessions and interviews. The album reached #1 within a month after its debut and remained there for 8 weeks, proving John's power as a musical star and showcasing his spangled personality. Singer with over 30 albums is also a collector, owning 120K CDs and 15K vinyl records kept at his home for easy access. He cites K-Star, Frankie Lane, and Nat King Cole as early influences, but is a fan of many artists and enjoys discovering new music. John's iconic Doc Marten boots were a major incentive for him to take on the role of the pinball wizard in the 1975 film adaptation of The Who's rock opera Tommy. The film also starred some big names such as Tina Turner, Eric Clapton, and Jack Nicholson. Elton John received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1975, but he also struggled with mental health, drug addiction, and bulimia. He overdosed on cocaine and attempted suicide by pills due to unrequited love. Today, he speaks candidly about his addiction. John, a lifelong soccer fan, became vice president of Watford Football Club in the 70s. He led a concert that raised money for them and eventually became chairman and president in 1976. His leadership brought the club from the bottom to the top tier in English football. Elton John's relationship with fellow singers Rod Stewart and Liza Minnelli is one of a kind. They are often in a feud but still manage to make up and compete with each other. Elton has been friends with Liza for years and even claims that she proposed to him while partying. Here, he poses with both singers and Stewart's then-wife at the opening of Minnelli's 1983 show in London. Elton John's 1983 marriage to sound engineer Renata Blowell in Australia after a whirlwind courtship was a topic of fan discussion. Blowell attempted suicide after 3 days of honeymoon, and their marriage ended after 4 contentious years. John donned a shiny 1,000-pound coat and Blowell showed off her heart-shaped pendant at the Valentine's Day wedding. In 1985, Elton John performed at Live Aid, one of the biggest benefit concerts ever organized. The event had huge artists simultaneously performing at London's Wembley Stadium and Philadelphia's JFK Stadium, with an estimated 1.5 billion viewers. The event raised millions of dollars for famine relief in Ethiopia and was organized by Bob Geldof and Midge Ure. Elton John was introduced by his friend Billy Connolly at 8:50 p.m. in London. In 1985, Elton John teamed up with George Michael on stage to perform "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me" during Live Aid. The duet was later recorded and released as a single in 1991, becoming a #1 hit in the US and UK. The song's proceeds were donated to AIDS, education, and children's charities. Elton John called Michael one of the most brilliant songwriters and best vocalists the country has produced after his death in 2016. Elton John's 2019 autobiography, Me, reveals he hosted wild cocaine-fueled parties at his mansion. He credits American teen Ryan White, who contracted HIV through tainted blood, with helping him get sober and start the AIDS Foundation. Within 6 months of White's death, Elton became sober and has remained clean for 27 years. Elton John's extravagant collection of costumes, jewelry, and art was auctioned off in 1988, fetching millions of dollars at Sotheby's. His famous moniker, Rocket Man, is fitting for the out-of-this-world star who has amassed a wealth of memorabilia that includes deco jewelry and glitzy glasses. Elton John fell in love with David Furnish in 1993, and they entered a civil partnership in 2005, later getting married in 2014. They have 2 sons born by the same surrogate, and John now enjoys the simple things in life, like spending time with his family and playing board games. Elton John's collaboration with lyricist Tim Rice for the soundtrack of 1994's The Lion King led to a record-breaking success. Winning awards such as the Best Original Song Oscar, Golden Globe and Grammy, the soundtrack spent 10 weeks at Billboard's top spot. However, John criticized Disney's 2019 remake, saying it lost the magic and joy of the original. John and Tim Rice have collaborated once again for a stage production of Aida. The modernization of Verdi's music earned accolades and commercial success in 1999 with guest singers including Sting, James Taylor, and Shania Twain. Their single, Written in the Stars, reached #2 on the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart. Elton John celebrated his 50th birthday in style with an elaborate party in 1997. The singer dressed as King Louis XIV, complete with a 3-foot-tall wig and feather train. The party was attended by 600 guests and held at Hammersmith Palais. John also released a compilation CD featuring some of his greatest hits. Elton John performed "Candle in the Wind" at Princess Diana's 1997 funeral. The song's lyrics were updated to honor her, and Buckingham Palace was initially against the idea. However, the Dean of Westminster urged John to play the song, and it was watched by an estimated 2.5 billion viewers. Elton John and Bernie Taupin's "Candle in the Wind" is a hit that's withstood the test of time, charting in 3 decades as a tribute to Marilyn Monroe, Ryan White, and Princess Diana. Its 1997 re-recording sold 33 million copies globally and broke sales records in the US and UK. Proceeds were donated to Princess Diana's Memorial Fund, and John's charity work led to him being knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 1998. John and his passion for the piano are widely recognized. His pianos, often named after iconic women in music, are a regular sight at his performances. His custom Yamaha, which took 4 years to create and was worth $1.3 million, even incorporates LED technology that reacts to his music. Blossom Dearie, Nina Simone, and Aziza are among the women he's honored by naming pianos after them. Elton John's 2004 residency in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace was called The Red Piano, named after the scarlet piano he played on stage. A documentary and concert video were released in 2008, and John earned over $500,000 per show, making his performance contract the second longest in the city's history. In 2005, the popular musical, Billy Elliot, premiered at London's Victoria Palace Theatre, based on the hit 2000 film. Featuring music written by Elton John and Lee Hall, the show was hugely successful with an 11-year run and a London cast recording. The musical has been seen by over 11 million people worldwide. Lady Gaga and Elton John have had a close friendship and collaboration for years. Gaga sees John as her mentor and even covered his hit, Your Song, in 2018. They have performed together and recorded a song for a movie soundtrack. Gaga is also the godmother to John's sons. John praises Gaga for always making time for his children despite her busy schedule. Elton John, the iconic and legendary musician, has been awarded the Order of the Companions of Honor by Prince Charles for his philanthropy and stellar career. He has also announced his Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, originally postponed due to the pandemic. John took to Facebook to express how much he misses performing for his fans. Luckily, the tour has finally started in 2022.